Sometimes people ask, Father Sean, when did you know you want to be a priest? Or did you always want to be a priest? Well, my background is engineering. I have a degree from the School of Engineering at the University of Kansas. I was a software engineer working for Sprint, computer science degree. I like concrete things, equations, things that make things explicit. So, a little strange going to seminary, and for the first time in my life, I studied philosophy. And I remember going in one of my first philosophy classes, and the professor got up and said, "Today, we're going to learn what it means to be." And I'm like, what? What? Is there an equation for that? What do you mean? What is. Not to paraphrase the president, but paraphrase Aristotle and Plato. It's a whole branch of philosophy called ontology. Ontos means being. So what does it mean to be, and what is existence? Kind of a strange thing. I didn't like it very much. But it's really important if we want to get to know God, because remember back in the Old Testament when God, who made everything, finally reveals himself to Moses at the burning bush, and Moses says, well, hey, God, if I go to Pharaoh and say, let my people go, and Pharaoh says, no. Well, who am I to tell him sent me? What do I tell him? Who sent me? And God says, very famously, his name. And his name is I am who am. It's literally being. I am what I am. I am what I will be. I'm what I was. I'm being itself. Wow. Talk about something that could confuse the heck out of an engineer. What is it? I don't even know what being is exactly. And God says, if you want to know who I am, I'm being itself. Yuck. What do you do with that? Well, to some extent, though, I think that's a really good thing. Because if God gave us like a name, imagine if he told Moses, hey, tell him Jack sent me. What the heck? No, if we could give something a name, well, that means we have some kind of control over it. That's why ultimately people want to know that the name of God or things so they can control him. Like here at the Rector, we've got two cats, Derek and Madeline. Well, if I call Derek, he's probably going to come running because he thinks I'm going to feed him. Or if I talk to Madeline, she'll at least look at me and meow. To know somebody's name means you have a little control over them. You can kind of box them in. At least they have to come when you call. Hey, Father. Yeah, me and like every other priest has to turn around. We can't do that with God. God is not someone we can put in a box. Even though he gives us his name, well, it creates more questions than it answers. I am who am. In Hebrew, this name that God gives is written with 4 letters. There are no vowels in ancient Hebrew. The vowels are implied. So it's just 4 consonants. What would be in English, Y, H, W, H. And if you imply the vowels, you get what we normally think would be God's name, Yahweh. Don't get me started on Jehovah. That's people don't know what they're talking about if they think God's name is Jehovah. It's a big grammatical mistake. Put that aside. God's name is probably pronounced Yahweh. But it means in Hebrew, I am who am, or I am who will be, or something along those lines. You can't box God in with that, though. He's being it itself. Now, today, in our readings, we see Jesus actually take that divine name revealed by God to Moses and use it for himself, to say it's his name. He says today in the Gospel of John, "For if you do not believe that I am, you will die in your sins." And in my Bible, it's all caps, all capital letters, I am. That's to tell you that what's translated into English, I am, if you were to read it in, the case would be Greek, it'd be ego eimi, or it's implying the Hebrew word Yahweh. I am. That kind of I am. The big I am. The great I am. Jesus says it even twice. When you've lifted up the Son of Man, then you will realize that I am. Sometimes people ask, well, when did Jesus ever say he was God? Twice in today's gospel. He took the divine name for his own. But notice also, when you've lifted the Son of Man up, then you'll realize that I am. In other words, when Jesus is crucified, that's when we'll know he's God? That doesn't make sense. If anything, it should be the opposite. If you see someone crucified, I would think that would mean you know for sure he's not God, because how could you crucify God? Of course, it's really pointing forward beyond just the crucifixion to the resurrection. How are we really going to know Jesus is who he says he is? He's not just saying, hey, I'm the great I am, and he's a liar. Well, he dies, and then he rises from the dead. That's how we know that he really is the great I am. So make no mistake, Jesus knows he's God. He tells us he's God. And you know how he shows us he's God? Well, he rises from the dead after we killed him. And perhaps most of all, he shows mercy on the very people who killed him. You can't put God in a box. No one could think of that. He's bigger than what you'd ever imagine. He is being itself. Enjoy those thoughts today, and God bless you.